I'll welcome to this session on aligning vision, strategy, and values. It's a very, very sacred topic because I feel every human being has incredible potential. They have this capability, they have this talent. I mean, the intelligence that is running our life, running every single cell. There are millions of things happening in a single cell, and all these trillions of cells they come together. And the intelligence that brings all of this together, if you study a nervous system, if you study a neuron, if you study the heart, the way it works, I mean, it's so amazing, so incredibly amazing. I mean, we cannot say that we are not capable because the intelligence that is running in us is that there are no, I mean, it's so fascinating, more fascinating than Jupiter and other planets. And they are not so intelligent, right? So we must never ever underestimate ourselves. We must never ever underestimate another person. So we have the capacity, we have capability, right? How do we bring them together? That's where you need to have a vision, strategy, and you need to have values. Then your capabilities comes together for the right reason, for the right purpose, right? So I'll start with this. If you have any questions, please raise your electronic hand. If you raise your physical hand, I will not be able to see it because I can only see a limited number of people. And there was this discussion before we started the session, which should come first, values, vision, and strategy. And there are different theories. A few say first you need to have a vision, some say strategy, some say values. For me, values needs to come first. This is my personal conviction. Right? So this is a journal, Indian Journal of Medical Ethics. And they did a research in India, and this is worldwide. I'm not just pointing out India, right? Usha, can you help me just read this title, research article?
Yes, sir. Research article, a typology framework for unethical medical practices under public health insurance schemes in India. Analysis of evidence over the past 12 years.
Yeah, and we all know what's happening in the hospitals. A lot of unethical practices, right? And this article is a thorough research that was done by Indian Journal of Medical Ethics has published this research. And you can see there are a lot. I went through the whole report and it was very, I mean, I felt sad at the end of the day that these are not crimes committed by uneducated people or something. They are educated people, but educated people without values. Okay, to do an MBBS and to do a post-graduation, you need to study a lot. And you can read here, overuse of implants. One study found that the cardiac stents were being implanted in heart patients in India without any medical need. There is no need for a stent. There is absolutely no need, but still the doctor puts it. That implantation is done and a person is given this external object. Why? Just to make money. Just to make money. This is not someone who does not have food and wants to make some money in an illegal way because the person is starving. No. So this is very sad. Such things are happening in a professional institute, which is hospital. Everyone is educated there. Right? On the report continues to go and say that overuse or incorrect use of procedures leading to patient's death. Right? In other cases in Karnataka, this happened in Karnataka, mortality audit committee found that the patient's death could have been prevented if the hospital did not have the second cycle of chemotherapy. The patient in this case died due to overuse of procedures. So the patient was given so much chemotherapy, it was not required that the patient died. Right? Why so much chemotherapy was given? Just to make money. They just wanted to make money. Right? So in fact, I'm just mentioning a few instances. But I'm in people business. I talk to a lot of people, and I've talked to a lot of doctors, and many of them are having unreasonable revenue targets. They have targets, and whether the patient needs those medicine or not, you just push those medicine to patients. And why are you pushing those medicine? And especially those medicines which are more costly, where even a generic medicine could have done a good job. They push this medicine because in order to make money, right? Just greed. It's not something that a doctor, can a doctor make a living without all this? Of course, he can make a living, right? But still, it is done because education is there, expertise is there, but there is no value system. Nagare, do you want to share something?
So it was reported in many parts of Andhra, you had the scheme 108 and Aragyasri, and hospitals have plethora, thousands of hysterectomy being done.
Yes.
And that's horrible. And the patient doesn't know, the person doesn't know hysterectomy was being performed.
Yes.
That's oversight.
That's a absolutely ethical violation, right? So see, our job, we don't have the intention to hurt anybody, right? The second is we intentionally hurt somebody, that's bad. But to intentionally hurt someone to make money, that's the worst form of soul contamination. I was speaking about awakening. I was speaking about the law of karma, right? The worst way to contaminate your soul, right, is to do hurt someone to make money. That is, I mean, you can probably from a Q3 Audi, you can go for a Q7 Audi, but externally maybe you can have a bigger house and a more cleaner house, but inside you have completely contaminated yourself, right? And once you contaminate your soul, what else is there in life, right? In fact, we are here on this planet to purify our soul, right? To go for awakening, to move towards liberation. And these are things that happens because there's no value system, right? Here, performing medical unnecessary investigation, this is one of the conclusions. Performing medically unnecessary investigations. You do this scan, you do that scan, just to make money. The patient does not need all that. Performing medically unnecessary procedure or implants not required. A woman goes, earlier, pregnancy was never considered something that requires tablets and lot of medical procedures, right? I was born at home. My mom delivered me in her mother's place, in her house. She did not go through any medicine and procedures, nothing. I was delivered at home, right? Pregnancy was never considered something that requires so much of medicine, because once I went to visit a friend of mine and he was carrying a tray which was so full of medicine, and I was like, we don't even eat this much, so much food, and so many medicine has been prescribed. And does she have any complication? Nothing, just a normal pregnancy, but still so much medicine has been prescribed. And why? Just to make money. Just to make money, right? Using high-end drugs, branded consumable when the treatment could be managed. And is it something exceptional? No, it is becoming a norm. These unethical practices are becoming a norm. In order to find an ethical doctor today, we have to really search. In olden days, when we were in the jungle, when we were centuries ago, we didn't own anything, nothing. Some stone tools that we use, we can pick up from anywhere. Some sticks and stones we can pick up from anywhere, right? Those days we were known for our capability, our talent, and our contribution to the tribe. We are known. So if you are courageous, the tribe will appreciate you. If you are talented, if you're very helpful, if you contribute to a lot to the, if you're a good hunter, if you're a good skilled person who can climb trees and pluck fruits, people appreciate you. You are known by your contribution. You're known by your talent. You're known by your capability, right? What has happened in the last a couple of decades is that people are known by consumption. How many watches you buy and how many cars you have. So who is a great person? Someone who has a luxury car, right? So you're not known by what you have done, what you have contributed. You're not known by your skill. You're known by, uh, luckily, we still appreciate talent. Vishwanath Anand is a great chess player, right? Sachin Tendulkar is a great cricketer. MS Subbalakshmi, Lata Mangeshkar, we know by their talent, their contribution. But majority of us, we feel that only if you buy an expensive jewelry, expensive shirt, a t-shirt that costs like 20,000, 40,000, only then we will get the respect. That's a very sad state of society. Right? Consumption-driven society, which is a Western culture that has spread all over the world. And that's a erosion of values, right? You can buy something for using it, for enjoying something, that's fine, right? But status should not come from consumption. Status should come from your talent, your contribution, right? Same thing in various other industries. This is dining with danger, food safety violation, aplenty in eateries. Right? Today, there are so many chemicals and artificial stuffs they are added. And do restaurants know that it is harmful for the customers? They know. Right? Even if the meat is spoiled, put some chemicals and add a lot of spice so that for the customer, it will taste like fresh meat and give it to them. Tomorrow, they will have a lot of stomach issues and other things. Who cares? Right? When I was in Hyderabad, I once stayed next to a hospital where a lot of Bengali people are coming from West Bengal. So I just interacted with many of them because we were staying in the same. It's like an apartment which rents out uh, to guests, So I interacted with a lot of them. So they consume fish. Consuming fish, is it unhealthy? No. Consuming fish is not unhealthy. But nowadays, when they catch a fish, as soon as they catch, they add so much of preservative and some of those chemicals, which are very harmful for the body. But do they know that this is harmful for the body? Of course. But they still apply because who cares? Fishes should not get spoiled. My profit should not go. I should make profit. That's what matters, right? And because West Bengal, they consume a lot of fish and they have developed some kind of a specific stomach ailment. And for that, this hospital in Hyderabad is quite specialized to handle that. So that's where the society is heading, because there's a lot of value system has gone. Even in the corporate world, I think we have forgotten there was a company called Satyam Computers. Anyone remembers Satyam Computers? It was one of the top companies in India.
Yes. Yep.
Right? It was one of the
Yes, it was, yes.
Yeah, it was one of the top companies in India. Yes, Santosh.
I just tell that I remember this company, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, Rao.
Sir, ex-employee of Satyam.
Oh, yeah, ex-employee of Satyam. It was a very good company, but the main person, he committed corporate fraud and he swindled a lot of money, which is organizational money, about 1.5 billion from the company. Fraud included more than 5,000 crores of non-existent cash and bank balance. And finally, he had to step down. And these are so many. We hear about Vijay Mallya, we hear about Enron episode, etc. And these are places, see, you don't have to, there is no necessity to do such large scale 5,000 crores of scam, but we do it. And today, scamsters, they go after retire. A person works the entire life and has a retirement money in the bank, and scamsters are going after that. Right? 30, 40 years, this person has sweated it out and has earned some money for old age. And scamsters, they don't have any heart, no value system. And they go after that money, right? To scam them and take their money. So my first thing I would say is that we must The first is to have a very, very clear understanding at a value level. Now, I'm not asking you to be 100% purified, perfectionism, nothing like that. But intentionally to make money, you do unethical stuffs, right? Ethics, value, respect, honesty, integrity. I mean, this is the core of who you are. Don't judge yourself by how big your car is or how big your house is. Judge yourself by your value system, right? If you can stand by ethics, you stand by respect. If you can do that, God is with you, right? And who else you need? In the eyes of God, you're on the highest status. So so this is the foundation of life, because sometimes we may have vision, we may have strategy, goals, etc. And sometimes we may not have. Maybe after retired life, you just want to relax or something. But values is something that we can never compromise, right? We can never compromise. This is the most important foundation of life. And when you have this value system, you will attract good people in your life, because a mafia guy attracts police, a mafia guy attracts other criminals. Some of them, they want to join the mafia guy. Some of them, they want to attack the mafia because this mafia is growing, right? So a person who has these values tend to attract good people in his life, get surrounded by good people, right? You choose a friend based on value system. Today morning, I was having a discussion with a young lady, and she was saying about marriage, etc., how to take a decision. And I said, even for marriage, character values is the most important thing that sustains a marriage for long. If you want to choose a partner, the most important criteria is value system, right? Ethics, integrity, honesty. A person is lying to you, but you still marry because the person is rich or the person is handsome. That is not how you go and then choose a life partner. You choose a life partner based on value system. So that's the most important element. Of course, this is my NLP guru. I'm not against money because I love Ratan Tata and he was one of the richest men in India, right? But this is Richard Macko. He was my guru. He's a Jesuit priest. He does not own anything. No Jesuit priest own anything. No possession. They live in the church. They don't get married. They live a celibate life. They have no possession. Right? They dedicate their entire life according to Jesuit code of conduct. They dedicate to Christ. Right? And he was very passionate about NLP, and he taught NLP all over the world. And in India, he had such huge fan following. He's no more now. And I used to go every year, and like how people go to Sabrimala or something, I used to go every year, keep attending the same program again and again, because I like this gentleman a lot. He has made so much of contribution. So many people consider him as their mentor, God. Even for me, he is my guru. But he doesn't own anything. Material possession is zero. Even for a shirt or a pant, he has to take permission and then get some little bit of church money. And if you see their place of stay, just a small room and a bed, that's it. In the church, they might look like church is big and they dress up in the pastor's dress, etc., as a priest. So you might look, there is a rich look. But if you go and see how they live every day, right, it's a very, very ordinary, humbling experience. So you can even be owning nothing and still make a huge difference. Swami Vivekananda, we don't know how much money he had. He's known for his character, his values, his strength, his courage, and his large-heartedness. Right? So money can come, right? Ratan Tata was extremely rich, but values guided him. And position can come. And Abdul Kalam held very high positions, and he held the highest position in India. and that was president of India, but he never let go of his values. So what is most important thing I would say is my personal conviction is that you need to have a clear, even a lot of people speak to me about boundary setting, etc., etc. I mean, if you have strong value system, boundary setting comes quite naturally because you won't violate your values, right? And naturally, you will not violate it. So boundary setting is not a extremely difficult process. It comes naturally to you. For a value-based person, they have their boundaries and it comes so naturally for them. This is unethical. I was offered by a very big company and a very good income for a corporate training in a resort. I was told, you just come, enjoy the resort, enjoy good food, but there is no class. But in paper, we will show class that you have conducted a class. So this management team wants to go to a holiday at company's expense, and they want to show that a training happened. And they told me, the HR said, you don't have to conduct any training. And I said, no. Right? I don't have to do anything. I just have to go and be with them and have good food and come back. But I was very clear that my conscience won't allow it. And I said thank you, and it was a natural thing. It was not I didn't have to think too much. I didn't have to like a lot of analysis, nothing. It just naturally on the spot, spontaneously, I said I can't take this up, right? So respectfully I said no. That's what value helps you. Okay, so value system gives a lot of clarity about how to live your life. It's not about a project execution. It's not about achieving a 2-year goal or building up company. This is for life, till the very last breath, living a life of honesty and integrity, right? Intentionally, we don't want to hurt anybody. And making money intentionally by hurting people, absolutely no. Even an online training program that I attended, and I wanted to learn this, I do my own Facebook marketing, etc. I learned that by attending various workshops. And so all the advertisement, I don't hire any consultant. I just do it myself. But one of the digital programs I attended, the trainer said, you record it and present it as if it's live. No one will notice it. And I said, no. I can't be telling the audience that it's a live program and actually showing a recorded version. Right? So there are a lot of these boundaries come so naturally once you have your value system. I mean, you value your values, right? You start valuing your values. So this is the foundation of life, a value. And this is the best thing you can do to your soul. This is the best thing that you can do for your own inner purification, is to live a life of values, right? Now comes to vision. Now, before I go to vision, any questions, please? Yes, John.
Sir, you have talked about values in a very positive perspective, but there are a lot of people, like say communist Stalin and even Dawood Ibrahim and so many other people. They are doing so many other things. They also have some values. I mean, these values, are they necessarily positively oriented, or the values are basically actually got as a result of a lot of things which you have experiences in your life, they also have their own vision, and Dawood also possibly has his own vision and the strategies and maybe whatever. But so values does not necessarily mean is always in the positive perspective, right? So it is necessary that we should also see how a value benefits humanity, or is there a test to check the value system, what you hold, is the right values or not?
Yeah. So one of the tests that I have found is that, sorry, I shared my calendar. I'll use a whiteboard. So one of the so values, for me, ethics, values, they all come together. Yeah. So how to test if your values is ethical, right? So anything, how do I put it across? Anything that applies to you can can also apply to another person. Or the reverse, anything that you do to others, anything that you do to others, you are happy if others do that to you. I think the second statement makes more sense. Anything that you do to others, you are happy if others do that to you, do the same to you, right? So for example, if you are very corrupt and you are constructing a bridge which is now crash anytime, people can die anytime, etc. And then you go to a hospital for your son, and the hospital is also corrupt and your son can die. And you say, no, 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 this is not acceptable. How can you put an injection which is adulterated, right? Which is contaminated. And they say, but you are also putting cement in the bridge, which is contaminated. So one rule for you and one rule for me. Right? A lot of latecomers, for them, they find it very hard to wait for another person. So this could be a one test, but ethics is not to harm another person, right? Integrity is to keep your promises. These are fundamental human quality. So one is in terms of violation. You violate another person for your profit. And one is you contribute, and you make your profit. Right? So your intention is to contribute and then you make your profit. You violate and then you make your profits. Right? So you try to get things by destroying others, by harming others. So this is unethical, right? This is unethical, and you contribute, you add value, and you make profit. The other person happily gives you money. From the heart, he gives you money because you have contributed that way. So this could be another parameter in terms of your value. Of course, the word values has a broad connotation here, but I am kind of zeroing it down to ethics, integrity, honesty, those fundamental aspect of a character, right? Yes, Giri?
Yes, sir. Thank you for this wonderful question. And, yeah, the value set for ourselves itself very tough, but how to set values for my company?
Yeah. So every company has a value system, right? Now, if you go and some of the companies, they do it for namesake. Some of the companies, they actually practice it. It is a way of life. I'm going to speak about Southwest, and I can probably go into their website and show the value system. I work for Synchrony, and I've taken classes of their value system. One of the value system is care. One of the value system is boldness, courage, right? And there's a lot of emphasis in terms of actually practicing it from top to down. Tata itself is a very organization. Tata Group itself is an organization that is based on value system, right? So ethics, values is fundamentally you want to add value, you want to contribute, you want to add value, you want to contribute, you want to make others' life richer, happier, right? And you can not that ethical people don't make a lot of money, right? So there are two ways to make money. One is the unethical way, one is the ethical way. And ethical way is it aligns with your soul. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mind, body, and soul.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if somebody falls down and if you help that person on the road and you pull that old man, elderly man, and you just lift him up and help him up, you will feel a sense of joy in helping another person, that he's a stranger, but I went and helped this person up. It's a very small act of kindness that you displayed, right? It's a very small act of kindness. And because you help that person, there's a sense of joy and a fulfillment. Okay. And
Yep.
at the end of the day, we we go to Disneyland to be happy. We pay a lot of money to go to Disneyland to be happy, right? But much deeper happiness can be experienced. I would say that goes a lot deeper when you really contribute, when you add value. And so there are doctors who are really healing someone. So someone comes to the hospital and this doctor helps that person come out of their illness and they become healthy again. And there's a lot of satisfaction that I help someone. And these doctors, they have a sense of joy, a deep inner joy that they're helping a lot of people, right? So whereas when you try to make money in by harming others, you have to shut down a part of you, because there's a part of consciousness that keeps pricking you, right? So you have to shut that down. So you're shutting down a part of you in order to experience some materialistic abundance. But that part of you, when you shut it down, you can't experience that great inner happiness, because a part of you has been shut down, because you have become insensitive to other human beings. So there's a sense of disconnection that you experience. And that disconnection itself is a punishment, right? The joy of connection.
Finally, yes, sir. Finally, if I can do with my ikigai and the dose that also you told the dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, these four chemicals can help to do anything. Thank you. Thank you. I should not take much time. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Rao.
So I feel values is something which gets tested actually on a daily basis, because no person is born with a bad value. It's only when the foundation of the value is not very strong, it's very easy for a person to slip into the so-called doing the wrong activities.
Yeah.
And when this can happen, when a guy can move from a good to bad, there's also a possibility where a person can move from bad to good again, as long as he wants to make sure the values are actually good enough for him.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. Anjana?
Manoj, I wanted to add to it actually. I mean, as an answer to all the questions posed here, I believe that values are something that we carry along, since our birth. As the sir has said, that, we don't take birth with the values, but over a period of time, since our childhood, what we learn from our parents, what is taught to us, and from our surrounding and from our experiences, what we accumulate, they are our value systems, which we consider as a guiding force of our lives. So it can be negative as well as positive. Like, if I see that, money can buy you happiness, that may be the value that I carry. Yes, as you said, it has to be ethically aligned. And yes, I would, if the question is raised, like, what should be the value, then as you had said, it should be like, if it is right, it should be right for everyone. And if it is wrong, it should be wrong for everyone. And as a basic nature of human being, we all are contributive, by nature. We are not here to like harm people, harm others, and gain pleasure out of that. By nature, we are very helping, by very productive and contributive. That is our basic nature as a human being. And when it is aligned with that, we follow a proper value system.
Yeah. So we are born with that, and having that clarity and valuing that values. I'm speaking about primary values like integrity, honesty, right? Ethics, uh, fundamental character, right? So when you align your life that way, and there's a lot of, especially in India, we feel that we can't be like making it big if we are aligned to value systems. It is not true, right? Most of the top experts, innovators, if you see Ramanujam, if you see C.V. Raman, even Steve Jobs, a lot of these top innovators, founders, they were driven by passion. They were driven by wonderful ideas, and they were not driven by trying to make money by scam like Harshad Mehta did way back in 1990s, right? So that's the unethical side. And I'm not speaking about the punishment that could come because of practicing those, because the law could catch you. It's not like that. It is, and even politicians, there are politicians who have really contributed to the people, and people, they revere him. And when people revere such a politician and they are so happy to see this politician, that itself is a reward which no money can buy. right? No money can buy that. And so there's a doctor somewhere in south of Tamil Nadu who's did such a great work that the whole village worships him, worships in the sense admires him so much, and that itself is a reward, right? So values are at the core. Maybe I'll take one or two and then one or two sharing, and then I'll move into vision. Yes, Rakesh.
Sir, you referred to the value system per qua individual, but then very few work individually as a proprietor or owner themselves. 90% work, or you can say more than 50% work as employees, or they work in an ecosystem where they don't control the ecosystem. And almost every industry, like medical industry, I'm a commercial person. I'm not from medicine industry. But what happens in a medicine industry? A doctor works over there most of the time, many of the hospitals, and he is aware of those practices. He is aware of that the branded medicines are being given. He accepts money from medical representative. That is unethical. But at the same time, what hospital does he have any control? Similarly, a telecom ecosystem has got a lot of corrupt systems. But a businessman in that ecosystem has to function. How will he function? How will he come out of that? Unless until one is Steve Jobs, or one is Vivekananda, or say top 2% who can break that cycle, would be able to follow their own value system.
Yeah, and by God's grace, there are such people. I know an IAS officer. She was posted in Gujarat at that time when I had a conversation, and I know her personally. She's absolutely ethical. And does the system allow her to be ethical? No. But she is absolutely a non-compromise. There is an IAS officer. She was a Zealian. She is in Tamil Nadu government, and she is absolutely ethical. Right. And there are a few people like that. I'll just mute everyone. You can unmute when you want to. So there are a few people like that in our government. That's why even though system is corrupt, that's why the government is still holding on, our country is holding on. Right. And even though the corporate medical setup, etc., there's a lot of this thing. There are honest doctors, there are honest nurses. And so these people hold on to it, and those people who are still able to hold on to it, they experience a sense of oneness, experience sense of connection with life itself, with the cosmic life itself. It's something like a monk who says enlightenment is more valuable than billions of dollars. Now it's hard for someone to accept that when a monk who is enlightened, like Gautama Buddha or something, when he says enlightenment is more valuable than $1 billion, it is hard to accept. But enlightenment is worth more than $1 billion. So when you're aligned to your values, you experience a sense of inner joy that's worth more than billions. Right? That's worth more than billions. So I would move on to vision because I do have a time limit. So values like integrity and values like honesty, knowingly not doing something dishonest. And I'm not asking you to be perfect and be 100% pure in your thoughts, etc. Not like that. But to make money and build a career, build an organization in an ethical way. And it is possible. And there are organizations and there are individuals, even if the system is corrupt, they hang on to their value system, and they experience a sense of inner joy that others miss out on, right? So on that note, this is a foundation. This is my personal conviction, and values is the foundation, right? We believe in value system. The second element is vision. We need a direction to channelize energy, right? Our capabilities, our energy, we need a direction. So, but the sad part is we have become much more short-term nowadays because we are caught up in day-to-day problem solving, meeting monthly, quarterly, including CEOs and chairmen can't think beyond 3 quarters. I mean, 1 quarter. That means 3 months. right? So this project has to be completed, or this particular deadline is approaching. This is what I need to do. And the focus has become so much into day-to-day problems that we are not able to be a visionary, right? So being a visionary is to go beyond day-to-day problems and look beyond. So it is a bit long term, right? So even if in some cases 3 years could be a long term, but sometimes it stretches out to 10 years, 20 years, and sometimes there are no time. Like goal setting, we say smart goal setting, it has to be specific, measurable, achievable, time bound, realistic, right? Whereas in a vision, you can have a vision without any time limit. It can just stretch into future, right? It's long term. This is Singapore. I've been to Singapore. And is there anyone joining from Singapore here in today's class? Okay, many of you could have visited Singapore. I visited multiple times. I've taken workshop there, and it's just amazing. I mean, even Dubai has big buildings, but Singapore has some kind of a wonder to it. You feel safe, and you feel it's a beautiful place, and there's a discipline there. So it's just an amazing place. But this was Singapore in 1950s, just like how India was in 1950s, right? Singapore was not developed at all in 1950s. This is another photograph of Singapore. You can see maybe if you take Chennai, Mumbai in 1950s and compare it with Singapore, there's not much of a difference, right? This is another photograph of Singapore, and you will see that, okay, this is something like, if you take Pakistan, some photographs, or Bangladesh, India, Singapore, not much of a difference. Yeah, Singapore was not developed in the 1950s. This is another photograph of Singapore, and you don't see any sign of development. Just a poor little small country, and it doesn't have any resources. There's no coal, there's no minerals, there's no oil, right? Unless Middle East countries, they have a lot of oil, etc. But Singapore had none, no natural resources. Very small little country, small town. It's actually, the size could be less than Chennai city itself. Then what happened? Anyone? What happened to Singapore?
There is visionary leader.
And yes, excellent. They got a visionary leader. And his name is Lee Kuan Yew. And he became the Prime Minister of Singapore in 1959. And everything changed because he was a visionary. And he completely transformed Singapore. And when he resigned by 1990, Singapore was far ahead of, and it was, I mean, it became a symbol for success for the entire world, right? I mean, Lee was, he was not satisfied with just solving day-to-day problems. They had a lot of day-to-day problems. Singapore had, any country like Chennai Corporation has, Mumbai municipality has, right? Any state, any country has day-to-day problems, this problem, that problem, but you have to go beyond that. And to see, like Mumbai municipality seeing a 30-year vision, how Mumbai could be, right? 30 years from now, but nobody does that, right? They are mostly into problem solving. Even that they don't solve, right? We can see that the same issue happens every time it rains, people are dying, into potholes are open, etc. And even that problem solving is also not being done. But he was a visionary. And when he resigned, Singapore was like this. Even at night, 2 o'clock, you can go out. You feel absolutely safe in Singapore. And it became a benchmark for success and development. And this is one of the person, Henry, who wrote a lot about Lee Kuan. He said, was a state that would not simply survive, but prevail by excelling. He didn't want to survive, but he wanted to excel. That was his vision. And he said, the country does not have any resources, but we will touch excellence by superior intelligence, discipline, ingenuity, and that would substitute for resources. Absolutely, he emphasized corruption-free Singapore. Even if his own known people are corrupt, action is taken against them, right? Absolutely corruption-free. The government officials are paid very high, and he brought that sense of discipline in the society. You don't throw garbage just like that outside, right? And he gave a lot of importance to education because his vision was that Singapore can become a great country because of superior intelligence, right? So he promoted a lot of education and a lot of innovation, creativity, and he brought the people together and he built that Singapore, and that was his vision. And the satisfaction. Now, he could have taken a lot of bribe and he could have probably had billions in the Swiss account. But that satisfaction of having billions in Swiss account on one side, okay, you have taken a lot of bribe, you destroyed your country, right? And you have billions of dollars. That unethical practices some prime ministers might indulge in, right? That's on one side. Building a great Singapore and the satisfaction of building a great Singapore, right? Staying true to his values and corruption free and really contributing to country and building a nation, and that satisfaction, you can't compare. You cannot compare, right? In the olden days, we used to feel proud about building something, creating something, contributing. It's only later on the value system went away, and it's more about cheating and making money and in the wrong way. That's why scam has become, like, India has become a scam capital of India because of the lack of value system and focus more on material abundance in an unethical way. Ethical way also, you can aim for material abundance, right? So between vision and goals, I'll make it clear that what is the difference between a vision and a goal. This will give you a clarity in terms of what is a vision. This diagram is good. It says strategy 1, strategy 2, strategy 3, but I'll come back to strategy a little later. Objective 1, objective 2, objective 3. This is where the company stands, and this is what is the vision of the company. Right? It has given 3 to 5 years. Some vision has a timeline. Some vision don't have a timeline. Right? It just stretches into the future. Okay, what is the difference between vision and a goal? I'll use a whiteboard. What is the difference between vision and a goal?
Can I, Manoj sir?
Yes, please.
Vision is something down the line for 3 years, you have something to do that. And goal is, it is taking some target. Say, for example, a person has to do 100 crore in down the line 5 years. Then he takes a goal of 20 crores first year or 15 crores first year. Next year, he gains 30 crores and so on to reach the down the line 100 crores. So that is the goal of the first year. So step by step there, and the goal then how to then comes the strategy and then implementation, execution, everything comes there. So there is a between vision and a goal.
Yeah. So if you were to summarize in one sentence, what is the difference between vision and goal?
Vision is a long perspective. Goal is something current what we have to achieve.
Yeah.
A goal can be put in numbers, sort of a thing.
It is long term, and this is the current project, etc., etc.
A goal is numericals generally.
Yes,
A
John.
vision is a dream. I mean, it is not numerical. It's more easy and subjective.
Yeah. So vision
is emotional,
not numerical.
Vision is not numbers. Vision is not numerical.
So vision,
goal is numerical.
Can be emotional. Okay.
Vision is a dream and goal is a reality.
Vision is
of the dream.
You can relate
Vision is a dream,
but
goal is a reality plan of that dream.
Yeah. So just raise your hands. I'll come to you. So
if I am going university, vision
not numerical.
In order to that, yeah.
Right. And vision is not numerical. Goal is numerical. or
Yeah, goal is
numerical, or in other words, measurable,
measurable. Correct.
right? So when you say goal, it has to be specific, it has to be measurable, but vision is a little bit long term and it is a little bit broader, right? It's a broader, but it gives you a direction, right? But goal setting,
Sir, you
Yeah.
can understand vision as something that you visualize.
yes, yes. So either you can say it is emotional, or it's something that you can dream, or something that you can visualize. Yes, yes, Rao.
So vision can be short term or long term, and the goals are the steps that you take to achieve those visions.
Yeah. So it depends short and long term. So you may have a, say, for example, a vision to reach the top of Himalayas, right? And you might have various milestones, and each milestone you could do planning, goal setting, etc. And so overall, if you compare in any specific aspects, vision will be the larger one, and the goal would be shorter ones, right? So some of the vision can be a short duration, some of the visions are longer duration, but compared to goal, visions are long. Yes, Rama?
Yeah, vision is something not cannot be changed. Goals can be set. Suppose your goal towards the vision is not working, you can again reset the goal. That is why it is called goal setting. Because like in movies, you put sets and you change the sets for the next scene, or if it is not suiting that particular scene. Same way, you try achieving your goal, certain, I mean, achieving your vision, you set certain goals, and if it is not working, you can again reset those goals and keep moving further.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Of course, you're flexible enough to not tweak it, but you have a larger vision and goals are within that vision, then it is aligned. You have a vision and your goal is something that is not something else altogether. Vision is going in one direction and goal is going in another direction, then it is not aligned, right? So vision is something that within the goal system, there are milestones, objective, planning, goals, everything comes in. But vision is the larger one, vision is the longer one. And some of the vision does not have a time span, but goals always have it is always time bound, right? It is one of the most important aspect of a goal setting is that it has a deadline, it is measurable, it is specific, and achievable, realistic. These are some of the characteristics of goals, right? But vision inspires, but goals is necessary when it comes to implementation, right? When it finally comes to day-to-day implementation, goals are very important. So vision is long-term and goals are short-term. Vision is broader, whereas goals are more specific. Now, all of you, I would like you to write a vision, a longer vision. What is your vision for your health? What is your vision for health? So you don't have to write any specific, I will lose this weight or I'll do exercise like this, but a long term. Write something, take a piece of paper, write something. What is your vision for health? I mean, it's at an individual level. Write one sentence, a vision statement, something that is inspiring, something that gives you direction. And it is very long term, it is for life. And if possible, if you are okay to share it in the chat box. It can be just 1 or 2 sentences. Okay, so Pritika has written in chat box, in vibrant health and high energy, Hital has said, I'm energetic and full of life. medicine-free 2025 through preventive healthcare. Vision for health is to be ideal body weight by Radhika. Anjana don't want to be bedridden. Maintain weight and junk food. Till my death, I shouldn't depend on others like eating, etc. So one of the thing about vision is that you write, don't say, I don't want to be bedridden. Say the positive side, right? So how would you describe those positive words? Sometimes light, to feel light, to move with, to be able to move with agility, whatever. But write in positive words, to be healthy, happy, and to keep healthy physically. Of course, I asked you without much of a time span, but vision takes a lot of time. So what you do is you can have a vision for your life. You can have a vision for, if you're running an organization, you can have a vision for your organization. Now, vision for an organization, you can bring in your own team from within the organization and right. But it is nice to be in a park or in a beach or in some quiet place and in nature and write your vision statement, right? So within this vision, once you have a vision, then you have goals, goal 1 and goal 2 and goal 3. But see what happens even in chess. If you are a good chess player, you can see a few moves ahead. But a bad chess player can only think of one move, right? A bad chess player will only think, I'll move this one. He doesn't think 5 steps, 6 steps ahead. Right? This ability to think a 5 step, 6 step ahead is what makes you a visionary and a strategist. You have to think ahead. Right? Even ants, they save food for a winter day. Right? Even ants. Right? Even honey bee, the bees, they also plan for the future. So our ability to plan for our future, to see a vision, see a direction is very important. After that, goal setting, etc., objectives, milestone, you can write down everything else. But you can write for health, even for finance, you can have this thing, various dimensions, professional life, family life, right? If you think about your family, you can have a vision 10 years from now, 20 years from now. So I keep saying, compared to last year, I'm a better human being, more capable, wiser, right? Compared to last year, I'll have a better relationship with my family. To see a happier family, so it's a vision. It may not have any logic, but everybody is fighting Manoj in my family. No, but you can hold that vision, and if you hold that vision long enough, God knows it turns, our dreams turn into reality. Yeah, so use only positive words when you write vision, when you write goals. No, I want to get rid of this, because when you fight with the negativity, you energize it. Right? You can use NLP outcome frames to write the outcomes. So that's where the vision statement comes in. Vision is broader, long term. You have to look much ahead, right? So visions are limitless, goals are not. Some of the visions can just stretch into the future, right? Like I want to live a healthier and a happier life. There's no time limit to that, right? So Martin Luther King, and he beautifully said, and Dr. Kamal, is it okay? Can you just read this? It is a vision,
Yes.
right? He was a visionary. Yeah.
Yes. Good evening, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Martin Luther King Jr., I have a dream. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the contempt of their character. I have a dream that one day, right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers.
Yeah, this is inspirational. It touches our heart. It's a vision, right? To see a society where black girls and black boys and boys and white girls, they play together, right? I have a vision where a person is not judged by the color of the skin, but by the content of the character. This is a vision statement. It is not specific. There is no goals means it's very specific. There are so many schools practicing racial discrimination. Out of this 102 schools, we will end this racial discrimination in 60 schools this year, another 60 schools in next year. That is goal setting. So a vision is broader, long term. Some of it doesn't have a time limit. Right? Some vision statement has a time limit that by 2030 we will be here. But some vision statement like this, Martin Luther vision statement, this I have a dream is true for eternity. Right? So exercise, write down a vision statement, draw a vision of your life ahead. This is I'm giving you as a homework. Go sit under a tree, go sit under a park or something, reflect on your life and write a vision statement for life. Think ahead. How to have a great life, how to have a meaningful life, right? Not how to have a meaningful life. If life is to be meaningful, then what it would be, right? Think of 20 years, 30 years ahead. How I want my life to be. Write some vision statement. It's inspirational. Write only positive words. I want to get rid of this. I don't want this. I don't want a lot of stress. Don't write any negative words. Use only positive words and very inspirational. Write that. Okay, this is an exercise. I would like you to do it. And those of you who are entrepreneurs, please, if you don't have a vision statement, and if you have written a vision statement just for the sake of it, or some website designer did it for you, you involve some important people in your organization and go to some park or something and sit and brainstorm what is the vision of the organization. If you are your own, like a proprietor, or if you're as a freelancer, then for your organization also, you yourself write a vision statement, right? It needs to be long term. It needs to be inspirational. It needs to bring out the best in you. It should help you in self-actualization and self-transcendence, right? I'll come to strategy. So strategy, I have less time, but I can take just one question, one or two questions, because strategy is very important and most misunderstood. So any questions on vision before I go to strategy? Okay, so I will move on to strategy, and this is very much misunderstood. Strategy is very important for success, right? So strategy is an integrated set of choices that position you on a playing field of your choice in a way that you win. Okay, it might sound complicated, but it's a series of choices that you make in a specific playing field. So I'll differentiate between what is like vision and goal. I will differentiate between planning and strategy. What is the difference between planning and strategy? Anyone? What is the difference between planning versus strategy?
Planning is plan and strategy is how we can go. How part. Strategy is how part.
How to achieve the plan. How to achieve the plan. Implementation and execution. Strategy will involve.
How to achieve the plan? Is that what strategy is? Yes, Kamal?
Strategy is...
hold on. Just raise your hand. I'll call you. Yeah. Yes, Kamal.
So strategy is the blueprint, the series of steps, and planning is, I think it comes to resource allocation and distribution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. And yes, Rav?
Sir, planning is basically defining your milestones, and strategy is the way you are trying to achieve those.
Okay. Taken. Yes, Shiv Subramaniam?
Yeah. Planning has a time scale. It has got milestones where you need to achieve a particular task by a particular time. Basically, planning is done to be able to achieve your strategies converted into small pieces called goals. And those goals are achieved using these plans in small steps against a time scale.
Yeah, noted. Rama? And Bhaskaran. I'll then move on. Yeah.
Planning is the step taken to implement the strategy what you have planned.
Excellent. Excellent. Planning is the steps that you take to implement the strategy, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Good one. Yes, Bhaskaran.
Strategy, we are focusing on the outcome. Planning, we are focusing on the results, desired results.
Okay, there's a little bit of difference there. I'll explain this. Okay, there's a lot of difference between planning, and we need to be a good strategist as well as we need planning, because when it comes to execution, goal setting, planning, this is what matters. But at a larger field, strategy is also long term, just like vision, right? Strategy is long term. So, why there is a strategy as far as organization and other goals a vision is concerned. Life strategy is the same thing, an integrated set of choices that positions a person to live a meaningful and a fulfilling life. That is a strategy. See, strategy is a way to achieve your vision, right? It's a methodology to achieve your vision. So if I go back to a slide, you can see here vision is there. There are so many different paths to achieving a vision, right? You can see strategy 1, strategy 2, strategy 3. So vision is long-term, broader. Strategy is also long-term. So for example, I'll give you an example. Those of you are preparing for IAS exam, right? UPSC IAS exam. UPSC exam. Strategy, what is the vision here? To be a, so maybe the larger vision is purpose is to serve the country, right? And within that, to become an IAS officer.
Yes, well, sir.
IAS officer, right? Now, in order to become the IAS officer, you need to crack the UPSC exam. So to crack the UPSC exam, so when you write a strategy, it's a series of steps that will help you crack the UPSC exam and become an IAS officer. So you have a strategy to crack the exam. Whereas planning is within your control. Whereas strategy is not in your control. Right? Planning is, so you plan that I will study this chapter or this subject by this time. Right? Now studying is completely in your control. Okay, so planning is you plan, I'll study this and I'll study that, etc. So you have a study plan for UPSC exam. That is called planning. Planning is in your control. Why is strategy not in your control in this case? In this UPSC exam, anyone? Why is strategy not in your control?
Because it is third parties are also involved. Like you don't know whether UPSC exam will happen or not happen.
Even if it happens, whether the person will succeed or not, it is not in your control because it's a competitive landscape, right?
Strategy is the various other aspects which are also aligned to it.
Yeah.
Whereas planning is me, myself, how I am going to do it.
Yeah. So you want to build a factory, you can have a plan for that. But if you want to succeed in the marketplace, you have to have a strategy. Right? Building a factory, okay, you have money, you build a factory and you have, so architect will come up with a plan for the building, right? He will not say this is a strategy to construct a building. He will say this is my plan to build your house. Okay, this is my drawing, this is a plan. You follow the plan and your house will come up. So you can construct a house, it's completely in your control. The responsibility is yours, but strategy takes into account the competitive nature of the marketplace. Right? So to win in the market, you need to have a strategy. Right? So if you're going for a war, you need to have a strategy because it's not in your control. The other party is also involved. The enemy is also involved. Right? So one of the thing about planning is that it is in your control. One of the thing about strategy is that it is much more broader and holistic. It's about winning in the marketplace. Right? So I'll come back to strategy. So a plan is not a strategy, because most of the corporate, they use the word strategic planning. And I've been to many such meetings of strategic planning in corporate, and they give me some 2 hours to conduct some games, etc. Right? So they even more confused because they use the word strategic planning. A strategy is different and a plan is different. There's a clear difference, right? Strategy has a theory why you should be on this playing field. So a trainer decides. We have Sampurna. She's a great trainer in Chennai, and she has decided to be a Heal Your Life trainer, right? So she's specialized in that, and she has a specific strategy in terms of establishing in that space. So you decide to compete in a certain space. It's a choice that you exercise. And you have a theory why in that space you will succeed and why customers will choose you instead of other options they have. And you need to have a strategy. Otherwise, without a strategy, and if you only have plans, you cannot succeed in the marketplace in a competitive nature, right? So to bring some, Usha, can you just read this?
Yes, sir. Planning does not have any such coherence and typically is what people in manufacturing want. To build a new plant, many other projects that has no internal coherence to it and no specification that this is the project is going to accomplish collectively some goal for the company.
Yeah. So a person is asked, okay, start a new branch, and this person goes and starts a new branch. But if you ask him how starting this new branch will help the company win in the market, he can't answer that. Right? Because all he needs is, okay, I need to start up. So planning, execution is what is required. Right? But at a CEO level, at a senior management level, you need to have a strategy how to win in the marketplace, how to succeed in the marketplace, because there are so many other players in the marketplace. How do I position myself? How do I differentiate myself? Okay, how do I make profit? How do I succeed in the marketplace? That form of thinking makes you a strategist, right? But if you have a project and you want to execute it, you just plan and execute. Because project planning, we don't say project strategy. We say project planning and execution, right? But winning, when we use winning, how to win this tournament, how to win this tournament. So when we use the word winning, we use the word strategy. How to win this tournament. So strategy is a way to figure out how to win. And a lot of things is not in your control, because you don't know how the competitors are going to respond to that. Right? So when you think strategically, there's sometimes a little bit of anxiety because there's a competition. You're facing the competition. Right? When you go for a job interview, you need to have a strategy to win that and succeed in that job interview and get that job, because there are a lot of competitors. Right? So planning is not enough. You need to have a strategy how to crack this job interview. So when it comes to winning, succeeding, we use the word strategy. Yes, Syed?
Sorry, sir. I just want to add that strategy is a leadership specialty and planning is a manager's specialty.
Excellent. Thank you for adding that. When you think strategically, you are exercising leadership skill. And when you do planning, you are exercising management skill, managerial skill. Because planning and execution is a managerial skill. Vision and strategy, both are leadership skills. So when you create a vision, you are a leader. And when you create a strategy, that is also strategic thinking, and that's also leadership skill. Right? Planning, you control your cost. You are the customer, because, okay, if I want to study something, I'm not, it's just me. Right? Of course, sometimes I may have a team around me, but I kind of have control, right? And it's comfortable because I can do this, I can do that. If I want to run an ad, I can do some planning and I can run an ad. But planning is not enough. Just because I run an ad, will I succeed? I launch a lot of advertisement. So I have to think strategically. So only if I think strategically, then only, okay, in this space, in this landscape, this is the competition, and this is where the market is, and how do I position myself so that the customer come to me and not to my competitors, right? So that's where strategic thinking comes in. Yes, Giri.
Simply, planning is internal and strategy is external.
Yes.
Planning is for middle management, top management, and strategy is for CEOs,
Yeah.
leaders. Thank you.
Yeah, but even if you're a manager, even if you're a junior position, think like a CEO. Think, be visionary and be strategic. Okay, so don't wait to become a CEO to think like a CEO. So you can think like a CEO even if you are in a very junior position, and you can say how this company is going to succeed. Okay, first of all, what success means for this company, right? What is its vision? What are its values? And what is the strategy? So when you think strategically, you continue to stay with your values. You know, you don't compromise with your values. Right?
Yeah, every time I tell the employees that after 90 days honeymoon period, they have to be a employee, employer, entrepreneur, socialpreneur, spiritualpreneur, creator. These roles they have to play with me.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Ishwara. Nice to see you, Ishwara.
Yes, sir. Very inquisitive and really interesting topic. So I have a question, though I understand the planning is more of an action, and the strategy is where you look at the outcome. What I don't understand, strategy also has the planning. So, I mean, there are certain steps to be done to win the market. So isn't planning part of the strategy?
Yeah, I'm just putting it, there are different management gurus, they put it differently.
Okay.
So some wants to have a strategy and then vision, because you want to assess where you stand.
Okay, my question is very simple. I mean, isn't planning part of the strategy?
Yeah, so for me, value, vision, and strategy comes first. Then
Okay.
planning and goal setting and then planning.
Okay, once you have the strategy, then come to the planning.
Yeah, after the strategy, the planning, after the strategy, you do milestones, goal setting, etc. And to achieve each milestone, you do planning.
Thanks a lot, Manoj. Thank you.
So strategy, you specify an outcome, a competitive outcome you wish to achieve, which involves customer. So I want to be a doctor, that's a vision, but how are you going to become, right? So that is, what is the methodology? What are the series of steps that you're going to become to achieve that vision? And then comes various milestones, and each milestone you have goal setting, you have planning, etc., execution, all that comes later. So the most important thing is get your values, get your vision and overall strategy. And then you can go down. Of course, sometimes within a shorter goal setting itself, you might have a strategy, right? So, but broadly speaking, values, this is how I put it, values, vision, strategy, and then comes planning, execution, etc. So in order to achieve a short-term goal also, you might sometimes come up with a strategy. So the tricky thing about that is you don't control them. So strategy is not completely in our control, but however, that's the reality of life, right? So you need to go out and compete and then succeed, and that's the reality of life. And for that, you need to figure out a strategy. Because without a strategy, you will be lost. You'll be doing a lot of projects, but there won't be any coherence or connection between these projects. You're doing one project, you're doing another project, you're doing another project, but none of them are connected to a strategy and none of them are connected to a vision. So strategy is a methodology to achieve your vision. So it is much easier to say, I will build a factory, hire more people, I will have customers who will end up choosing our. So what strategy says is that strategy speaks about success, strategy speaks about winning, strategy speaks about adding value, right? I will be able to add value. So that's where the strategy comes in. So strategy is figuring out how to win. And what do you want to win? That's what vision statement makes it very clear, right? For each milestone also, there could be a strategy that you could come up with. So there's a difference. Planning is in your control. I will do this, etc. But you are not mentioning success. You are not mentioning winning. But when it comes to winning, when you figure out how to win, that becomes a strategy. So I'll give one example. This was Southwest strategy for winning. Hi, Nagananda. See, your voice is very, there's a lot of noise there. Can you share it in the chat? Okay, Southwest Airlines was a very small little airlines in the late 1960s, and they became a big player, and they had a specific strategy for winning. This is a vision for Nagananda, just share it in the chat box. I'll pick it up. Okay. So this was their vision. I'll just go back one step. To be the world's most loud, most efficient, and most profitable airline. Do you see in this vision statement, if you go to the Southwest Airlines website, they have vision, values, etc. Is there any timeline here in vision statement? You don't see any timeline here, like it is for a...
No.
Yeah, there is no. And this is there on their website. This is their vision, to be the most loud, most efficient. So, but it inspires, right? The vision statement is inspiring, and it is broader.
And it is also clever.
Yes, it is also clever. Street smart. This is their strategy. They wanted to be like a bus. And in 1970s, this was something unheard of. Because people, when they used to travel, they will have food, etc. But when you travel in a bus, do anybody serve you food? Nobody does, right?
No.
So they said, we want to be a bus. And so they are going to compete in a totally different aspect. That is as a low-cost airlines. So going in a flight was a big fancy thing during 1970s, 80s, etc. And they came up and said, we are going to run buses, just that it will be flying. These buses will be flying. And we are going to fly point to point instead of hub and spoke. So they had a strategy to cut cost. They said, we are going to be the lowest, assuming you want to go from Bangalore to, say, Delhi, and everyone is charging you 8,000. And there's one airline that is charging you, say, 2,800. Generally, you'll jump to that. Oh, 2,800, right? That's what Southwest, they created like an earthquake in the airline system. And in those days, the hub and spoke was very famous among airlines. So hub and spoke is, you have one center and you have various spoke. Right? And then you have another center and you have various spoke. So airlines used to practice this. So say, for example, this could be like Delhi. If it is in India, and this could be like Bangalore. Right. So around Delhi, you are connecting it. So if someone wants to travel to, say, for example, Chandigarh or Chandigarh, I hope the spelling is correct. Is it correct? Okay, Chandigarh. Now, if somebody wants to travel from Bangalore to Delhi, they will go to Delhi first, and from Delhi, they will take a connecting flight, right? From here, they will take a connecting flight and say Indigo or something like that. So this is hub and spoke system. So they have one major hub and they have the spokes. But what Southwest Airlines did is, they said, we will have a flight directly to Chandigarh to Bangalore and back to Chandigarh. What is the benefit like that? Why would they do that?
Saving time.
Yeah.
Point to point.
So this is
Saves a lot of.
yeah. So when
there's a lot of and takeoff.
Yeah, there's a lot of time that it takes because connecting flights, the luggage from one plane has to go into the other plane, more employees has to be there, more complications. So the plane stays in the airport, and if connecting flights is delayed, sometimes you delay this flight also. So the planes, they stay in the airport for a longer duration. And they said, if plane are staying in the airport, we are not going to make money. They want to be the most profitable, right? So they want to fly from point to point, because as soon as you land Bangalore, you go to Chandigarh, Chandigarh to Bangalore, Bangalore to Chandigarh, Chandigarh to Bangalore, Bangalore to Chandigarh. So no connecting flights, nothing, no connect this thing. So you can be faster, more efficient, and by being faster, our planes are going to take more flights. And if they take more flights, we are going to make more money. So they had lot of such steps, a series of steps to be the low cost airlines. They also said we only will have 737 Boeings and no other aircraft, because if you have different aircrafts, you need different specialization, you hire more technicians. So they said we are going to stick to one type of aircraft, so that will bring down cost. So they had a series, and we are not going to offer meals, and it was a big thing those days, not offering meals. And we are not going to specialize in short, and we are going to specialize only in short flights, not in long flights. Okay. And we will not have these travel agents. And those days travel agents were the in thing, and they were ahead of their time, and they said no travel agents, book directly online. So all that, they were able to cut down cost and offer at a price that created earthquake during 70s, 80s. Southwest emerged as one of the top players. It was from nobody, it became a top player. It was a very specific strategy. It was a very simple strategy, and they emerged victorious. So a strategy need not be very complicated thing. It is just a way to capture market. It's just a way to achieve success. And there has to be some very clarity. This is how I'm going to succeed in the airline industry, or this is how I am going to succeed in the manufacturing industry, or this is how I'm going to succeed in this industry. Okay, that's what strategy is. So when you think strategically, you are a leader, because you're figuring out how to win. That's what strategy is about. So strategy, how do you do that? You lay out a logic. So this is your vision. How are you going to achieve your vision? Now, many of you wrote a vision statement for health. Now, how are you going to achieve that vision statement? Okay, you need to figure out a way to succeed in achieving that vision, in turning that vision into reality. Usha, can you help me read this?
Yes, sir. Strategy, lay out the logic of your strategy clearly. Here is where we are choosing to play. Here is how we are choosing to win. Here are the capabilities we need to have in place. Here is the management system, and that is why it is going to achieve the goal.
Yeah, all the series of choices, series of things, series of steps. If I do, I will succeed. I will win. Okay, that gives you a kind of, okay, this is how to go about in succeeding. Okay, there are 5 questions which can help you figure out a strategy. So where do we compete? Right? What unique values you're offering to market in that space? Why should customer come to you and not to somebody else? Right? Why will customer choose our product and services when they have other options? 4th question, what resources or capability do we tap into deliver that value? And what factors will allow us to win over a longer duration of time, not just for shorter duration? So these are 5 questions that will help you to figure out a strategy. Strategy in very simple sentence, it is you're figuring out how to win in the market. Right? And then once you figure it out, you can have lots of goals and plans, and execution can follow up. So if you can align, and when you draw up your strategy, it is value-based. When you create a vision, it is value-based.
Manoj, sorry, can you go back to that previous slide?
Michael Porter, he is the guru of strategy. Any book by Michael E. Porter is excellent book. He is considered the world's topmost guru on strategy, and I've been a fan follower for him for a very long time. Yes, Nagananda, have you written? Let me just look at it. Strategy is more, Nagananda, I am reading your this thing. Strategy is more like higher level definition of path to be taken. Yes, excellent. Strategy is more of a higher level path. How you're going to achieve your vision. It's a higher level. It is not very specific. But when it comes to planning, planning is always specific. Goal setting is specific. Right? So
Thank you, Manish.
yeah, so vision is broader. Strategy is also broader. It is a higher level plan to achieve success. Then comes planning, which is very specific, and goal setting, which is very specific. And planning is more about steps to achieve that goal defined in the strategy. Yes. So strategy comes first and then you go for planning, not the other way around. Okay. First you figure out how to win and then you start planning and executing. Yeah. So these three are the most sacred topic for life and for an organization. An organization without values, vision, and strategy is going nowhere. And a person without value, vision, and strategy is just going through day-to-day problem solving. Some issues are coming up, you're solving that and you're moving on. But if you have values, vision, and strategy, you're very energized. Your mind will not go into negativity because miles to go and miles to go before you sleep. You want to contribute, you want to bring out the best in you. You are on the path for self-actualization and self-transcendence. So that's wanted to bring out how important this topic is, and hope you will take this and write down your values, write down your vision, write down your strategies, and make your life wonderful. So with that, thank you. It's already I've taken a little extra time.
Thank you, sir.